Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with a design team post for Scrapping for Less. I am going to be using quite a few different products today. One of the focal points I'm using is the Nuvo stone drops, and in those pictures you can kind of see the texture that's there. It's almost a gritty feel. It's really, I don't know how to explain it, but it is really cool because it really feels like stone that's on there. So what I'm going to be using are these stencils. I have a Prisma one, an Echo Park coffee bean, and then a Balzer Designs. Now the Prisma and the Balzer Designs I know I got on a clearance at Hobby Lobby, I believe, or Michael's or somewhere. And I don't know where those would be available. However, I'm going to link a couple that are close to that we have in the store over at Scrapping for Less. I'm also using Spring Pattern Scrapping for Less pattern paper, 6x6 pad. I'm using the I Love Crafting, or I Am a Crafter by Echo Park. I'm using Sweet Friendship stamp set by Gina Designs. I'm using the framelits dies of hearts and some flowers from Sizzix. Some pixie spray. I do end up using a Hello die from Pink and Maine. The Nuvo drops, like I said, and the color I'm using today is Plum Slate. And then some sequins and Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. So to create this, I just took some scrap paper that I had, and I'm just going to lay this all the way across the stencil and kind of get it all in there. Now, like I said, it is kind of gritty when you're making these, but like I said, the texture when it dries is just so cool. Now you do have to, I let this dry for a good hour and a half, 2 hours before I even went back to do anything, but those are all the ones that I made. So to start out, I used the largest heart not stencil, die to cut out the heart from the one stencil that I made. And then I used a smaller heart to put the sentiment in that I'm going to stick in the middle, and it says Missing You. Now this is a 5.5-inch square card. I did crop the edges of just the right side of the card and just rounded them out, the corners. I'm going to pop that heart right in the center, and then I'm going to pop up the little heart that says Missing You on it. And then to finish off this card, I'm just going to add some iridescent clear sequins that I got from one of the Scrapping for Less kits. I think may have been the Christmas one last year or the winter pack last year, because they're all clear design. But I'm just going to pop those on, and that'll be it for this card. These are really simple cards, but I just think the dimension in these cards using the Nuvo stone drops is just kind of really cool. This one I pretty much did the same thing. I stamped a sentiment on a smaller flower, and I cut out a large flower, the largest flower, from the circle stencil. But I'm going to use some of the pattern paper and a pink card base to kind of match the pattern paper. Now this is an A2 size card, so it's 4.25 by 5.5. The panel I cut down to 4 inches by 5.25, and then again I'm just going to kind of set those in the center of the card and then put the sentiment right inside the middle of the card. And this one says Art is Therapy. So I like that sentiment. And again, I just popped this one up. I used some sequins from another Scrapping for Less kit that had pink and purple sequins in it, and I thought it matched well with it. And that's going to be pretty much it for this card. And like I said, this is really an interesting thing to use because I used this on a previous card and just to make some drops, and it gave it really cool texture and kind of a cool look, almost like a, not like a diamond gemstone, but almost like a jade type gemstone look and feel to it. But then when I spread it out on here, like I said, it's definitely rough and a gritty texture to it, but nothing gets on your hands. Once it's dry, and it's not coming up, which was what I was a little concerned about. I didn't want it, kind of like when you deal with glitter and it's all over the place, I didn't want that grittiness everywhere. But once it's dry, it stays on there and it's really good. So this is where I used the Hello die, and this has a shadow along with it. So it's I cut Hello out of the Nuvo stone drops, and then I just used a piece of black cardstock for the shadow, and then I'm going to use a black card base that is A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now I did not want to run this through my trimmer because I feel like it'll really dull the blade, because like I said, it is so gritty. So I ended up just cutting this on the Tim Holtz glass media mat. I just got this and I'm not sure how I'm going to like it. This is the first time I actually ever used it. I did like it. I'm a little concerned about the glare that it gets on for recording, but working on it is really nice. The problem is I'm left-handed, so I have to turn it upside down. And I know they have a traveling one and a left-handed one, but I didn't see a large one with a left-handed one. So this one again, I cut and I like this stencil because even though it's a coffee bean stencil, I think you can use it for so many different things. You know, I wouldn't get coffee bean off of that when I look at it. I like the texture of it. I thought it was really cool. This one I then just used some black sequins from another Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month kit. I popped that sentiment in the center. And then I did use the Spectrum Noir sparkle pen all over the sentiment and the shadow, and then my pen ended up leaking, so there's a lot of sparkle on that, way more than I was planning on using. I was originally just going to do the purple part, you know, the Nuvo stone drops part, but then because it leaked onto the rest of it, I did the whole paper. It soaked up the sparkle pen really well, so like I said, it was kind of cool, and it was really interesting working with this, and I think these cards are really cool considering there's no coloring or not really any stamping, just the sentiment, and they were super quick to make. So thanks for joining me. I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Stick around and check out a couple videos that are attached here at the end. Thanks for joining me. Bye.